Quick It's Mine show. I want to talk to Donna. I went through her video, and a lot of it is on her personal website, and I'm going to connect, if that's okay with her, too. Her Facebook. Is your Facebook more personal Facebook? Do you have a business Facebook? Or?
I have both, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to connect those also, too. A lot of what I'm seeing with her information, and me being a chiropractor, me being about decreasing stress in your body, getting yourself healthier, too, when someone goes through cancer, which is becoming more aware of what's going on with your body and understanding what's going on, how do you first approach that? And talk about your story too.
Okay.
Kind of gave you a big picture here, but what's a good way to start intro you? Okay, what have I gone through? And your story on your video too kind of gives you a good intro of what's going on.
Okay, sure. Well, I like to give a little bit of background information first, just where I come from and how I got to where I am now. And I actually grew up in Michigan, just north of Detroit. I attended Michigan State University there, and I majored in clinical laboratory science. So I worked in the medical field, the industry, for about 12 years. I got married to my, not high school sweetheart, college sweetheart. We moved to California, and we had 3 beautiful children, twin boys and a daughter. And so we have 3 children, and I opted to stay home with them and homeschool them instead of working, so outside of the home.
So were you working beforehand and said, okay, I'm going to now have kids, I'm here in California, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, and so it was really a blessing to me to be able to stay home with them, truthfully, and especially to do the homeschooling. So we did that, and then they were getting older, and I knew that I wanted to get back into the workforce. So I thought about doing lab work, but I actually found that pretty boring. And so...
Sorry.
No, it was boring.
That's part of the... prerequisite of being a laboratory rat.
Yeah, well, I actually wanted to be a physician, but I didn't end up going that route. So working in the lab was boring to me because I'm far more of a people person. So anyway, I decided to start looking into maybe start a business. I really wasn't sure. Well, then fast forward then to 2014. And that was Father's Day. It was a day that I never will forget. And I was rushing around to get ready to go visit my dad at my sister's house, and I jumped in the shower, was running late as always, thinking, man, why do I always wait till the last minute to get ready and do the card and pack up the food because we're going there. And I found a lump in my right breast in that shower that day. And I had always gotten mammograms. I thought I was really healthy. I played tennis every day. I drank tons of green tea, and I thought, oh, it's probably nothing. I'll just get in. So I didn't tell anybody about it. The next day I got in to see my doctor, and they ran a bunch of tests. The tests came back, and they told me I had cancer. And so, that's what, of course, what no one ever wants to hear, that they have cancer. And not only was it cancer, it was an aggressive kind that was going to require aggressive treatment with chemotherapy and radiation, surgery. So going into that, I spent all of 2015 in treatment. Really a lot of downtime. And so during that downtime, I had time to do a lot of reading, which I love to do. And I also started to develop a really lot of anxiety. We have a lot of that in our family anyway, just high-strung people, type A, work a lot, and they're just always on full speed ahead, right? But towards the end of my treatment, the chemotherapy really, was hard on me, hard on my body, and going through the mental part of it all. And so I started searching for answers. And I came across a book in particular that really, really helped me, and it was called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. And through that book, I learned that there's this little voice in your head, and he calls it self-talk. This little voice in your head, and I knew I had that little voice in my head, but I just didn't know that I could do anything about what that voice was saying. And I realized through that book that voice had been telling me lots of bad things for many, many years. And that I was carrying a lot of baggage that I don't know why I got cancer, but I know that when you have that negative kind of thinking, it definitely can lower your immune system. I know this from my medical background, that just, carrying heavy emotional burdens like that can definitely make you sick in many ways, whether it's cancer or heart problems or diabetes.
Anything short-term or long-term.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was a huge turning point in my life, a huge catalyst. I went online, found this man, Dr. Shad, flew out to Florida when I was just my hair was barely growing back. And I worked with him personally for 4 days and trained with him. And so I decided that I would become a life coach and that I would help people with this little self-talk thing, which I thought was little at the time. It turned out to be a huge, way bigger thing.
And this is after you recovered from cancer.
Just at the end of my cancer treatment,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't really even say I was cancer-free yet because they really wouldn't tell me that yet. But I just knew, like, somehow I'm going to take this experience and use it for good. I think that was my mission at the time. And so I started coaching men and women about this concept of self-talk and helping them change their self-talk from negative into more positive thinking. And it's a lot more than just positive thinking. So I did that for about a year, and then I really had it on my heart to work with people who have cancer, because that's my story. That's what I went through, and I really wanted to help, especially women who are dealing with breast cancer and their families. You know, their spouses, their significant others, their friends, people who are closely connected with them, who suffer a lot of times just as much, if not even more, with the emotional and the mental part of someone who's been diagnosed with cancer. And I know my family, we still are picking up some of the pieces from that. And you know,
How long ago was your treatment? How many years
Well,
ago?
okay, so I started my business in January of 2016, and that was pretty much the official end of my treatment.
Okay.
So it's been about 2 years, just a little bit over 2 years that I say I've been cancer-free by the grace of God, and I'm very blessed to say that. But now I believe I have this mission to help people, because I know there's a lot of money that's raised, there's a lot of research that's being done, there's huge breakthroughs in science, but still this underlying stuff that you really have to peel the layers back to get to, the stuff that we carry for years, the emotional stuff, the stuff that is hidden in our subconscious that we don't even know. Like have you ever had where you keep doing something that's kind of destructive, whatever that is, and you just don't know why? Like,
What's the root of the cause right there?
Yeah, you're just like, why can't I get past this? Why do I keep doing this? You know, and so there is a reason why. And that's the work that working with a coach, that's what we do, is we help peel back those layers and find out where the root is, but always to move you forward then. You know, to say, okay, this is the thing, you have cancer. I mean, that sucks. Having cancer, there's no way around it. It's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's really bad. But I always say, well, what are you going to do about it? You know?
What's the next step?
Yeah. Like, are you just going to curl up in a ball and say that's it? Or are you going to do something about it? Because there's always something you can do, no matter what stage. You know, and it's not easy, but I think the big thing is just to find the purpose. You know, there's a reason why these things happen. You know, and then what can I do with that to make my life better, to help my friends and family, to help other people? You know, because we're all connected.
And that's the steps people don't know where to reach out and go for.
Yeah.
Maybe that person, I would assume, or their family members too.
Yes.
What kind of training have you done? You mentioned Florida, and what have you done to become a certified coach for that? How did that work out?
Okay, well, that was a certification program that I finished, and then I went on actually to do another certification with the John Maxwell team. I've always admired John Maxwell as a speaker, and I wanted to work more on my public speaking skills and my coaching skills, and that program is a phenomenal program also. Huge.
And at Presidents, did you want to become a coach, and then you took the program to become more competent in coaching and talking and self-talk?
Yes. With the heart of it, with self-talk. And John Maxwell actually mentions this whole concept in a chapter of his book, another book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, which I teach through that book also. Excellent.
He's been around for a long time. I read his books too. They're principles on how to think properly, to live a normal, relaxed life. They're moral laws.
Moral principles.
I mean, they're universal. Doesn't matter what country you're in, what your economic state is, background, whatever it is. Those are things where you can take anywhere, in any part of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really full of wisdom, that man. So I've had the opportunity to meet him and, you know, see him on stage many times now and work with some of the high-level coaches that are in the John Maxwell team. And there's over 10,000 people throughout the world now in that program. And so
Wow.
I have all these wonderful connections with people all over the world. So it's very exciting. I will be a part of that for life. It's a lifelong program, and they're
Great.
always adding to it. You have access forever. So that, and I became actually an executive director through the John Maxwell program. It's
Okay.
one of the highest levels you can be in the program. And so then, now I recently, because I love education, so I homeschooled. Maybe I should have been a teacher, bottom line, but I am a teacher, so I can't say should have been. I am a teacher. I am doing a training program through HeartMath now, and that is a building personal resilience program. And there's a lot involved with this, so I don't know if I really have time to get into the details of it all, but it's basically learning how to control, through your heart, you're able to control your emotions. You're able to control your thoughts, and it's through technology, using an app on your phone and a Bluetooth sensor that monitors your heart rate variability. And that's an indicator of how your whole body is working. And so physiologically, it's not just your heart rate, but it's measuring the variability in your heart rate. And then looking at your respiration, your blood pressure. Amazing technology that we can get on our phones now. So I'm just finishing my certification in that and starting small groups. I'm going to be starting my second group soon. And that's a group of 10 or less people who get together and they all use the technology. And I take whatever problems they're dealing with, and I envision using this with families who have cancer in the family.
So that's the bigger picture, is how do you get what your training has done, the new training, the heart program to okay, how do we make people become more aware of what's going on inside their body, maybe psychologically, mentally, or spiritually, and even physically, now with this heart program, to make them more capable of dealing with the situation.
That's right.
And then moving forward to how do I deal with it, what steps I need to do to make sure I improve not only the person having cancer, but the people close around them, so they're a benefit and a positive atmosphere for that person to recover as well as possible.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, bottom line, we are living in a super fast-paced world.
Crazy.
There's no way around it.
Crazy.
We know it, right? We feel it.
Yeah.
And we see people, especially young people, the stress that they're feeling and the anxiety
They're
level.
always thirsty too.
Yeah.
Sorry. Comically apologize.
So yeah, so we're seeing this go up and up and up, where people are more and more and more stressed, and we don't know exactly why. But the HeartMath company and the research that they've done is just phenomenal, because they're proving that because of a lot of this, whatever's going on, some of it is even, they think, in the planetary movements and the forces and energies that are out there that are affecting people, because we're experiencing stress like we never have before. And so we really, just like we figured out we're sitting all the time, we have to go exercise at a gym, or we have to force ourselves, it's not incorporated into our work. I think that now we're seeing that we have to exercise our mind too. Like, we have to take care of our inner self, our spirit, and it's all connected.
When you say exercise the mind, though, it's almost, do we exercise more or do we shut it down to make it more, if you want to call it, recharge the battery, so your body's ready to be more creative, to tolerate the stress. So stress will always be there, right? We can't change that constant for most people. So how do we tolerate more stress by understanding how our bodies respond to the stress?
That's a really good point. Yes,
I just take stuff in my head all the time.
That's a really good point. You're right on with that, because what HeartMath calls it is coherence. No. When you're in coherence, you don't necessarily feel like tired and sleepy and relaxed. You're just focused. You're tapping into your creative intuition. You're tapping, I think your spirit is connecting, call it God or the universe or the higher power, but you're connecting to something bigger than you are when you do this. And again, because HeartMath has done scientific research to prove this, that's why I find it super fascinating, because you can say all kinds of things, but this company is actually setting out to prove it. And because I'm a science person, I love the science.
Of course, our own science.
Yeah. So the coherence that's exactly what they say. Look at it like a battery. Like look at it like your car. If you leave the lights on, the battery is going to slowly be drained. It's the same thing with stress. It's going to slowly, they call them energy leaks. It's going to slowly drain your inner battery. So that's why a lot of times after people get home from stressful work situations or whatever, they're just exhausted. Like they can't even order a pizza, right?
I can't push the button on my computer to order the pizza.
Yeah.
But that's one thing is how do you find ways in your own life, and everyone's different, to take that 10-minute break, take that quick walk, take your lunch, and actually take a lunch. Don't work during your lunch.
Yes, mindfulness.
You know, and even eating properly too, and hydrating properly while you're working allows your body to maintain an energy level so it doesn't break down and make body stressed, cause high blood pressure, cause hypertension, and cause you to do things that will maybe short term give you high energy, like a Red Bull. I mean, I have no once in a blue moon, but at that point, you do things to give you high energy to get through that moment, but all of a sudden you drop. You avoid the roller coaster ride, so your body can maintain a certain level of mental aptitude, if there's a word for it, so you can actually work through and focus, as you had mentioned, and maintain that high level of creativity and analytical ability while you're working.
That's right. Yeah, and I love this because you keep bringing it back to the wholeness.
Huge.
The whole body, and as a chiropractor,
you have to think of everything.
You have to think of everything. Exactly. We can't just remove one part of our body. We can work on different parts of our body, but they're all connected. And so that is so important to keep in mind, that we always have to look at the whole thing. And so meditation has been really popular now. Mindfulness meditation. I took a class through the University of Massachusetts, and I was thinking of getting certified in that. But what we had to do was meditate for 45 minutes every day. And I started to find it was very effective. Absolutely wonderful thing if you can do it. But that for me, to fit 45 minutes every single day was hard. And you don't have to do 45 minutes every single day. Some people say, oh, you only need to do 10. Everybody's different, right?
Yeah.
But bottom line, you have to stay very focused. And it's not easy. It's really not an easy practice. You know, it's simple, but it's not easy to develop the habit of it. Apply it. And so the heart math, basically you get the same benefits of meditating, which are huge and proven also, that decreases blood pressure, can even lower your blood sugar levels.
How does it do that?
How does it do that?
Yes.
Again, through just putting all of your systems in balance.
So understanding where your body is and how it's being affected by your environment, you can actually learn ways through the heart program to actually lower it based on your numbers coming back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it decreasing.
So it gives you the analytics behind it too.
Yeah, the cortisol levels are
huge.
Through the roof, and even young people. And for anyone who doesn't know cortisol, you probably talked about it. Yeah,
pain,
cortisol when you're under stress, your body produces this hormone more. It's called cortisol, and it's called the stress hormone.
Or catecholamines too, same thing.
Yeah, and a lot of times when people have high cortisol, also their serotonin levels are low, and serotonin, it makes you feel good. It's the happy hormone. And so the two kind of go together. There's a lot more intricate. The human body is so complex, right? We can't explain it.
But those are hormones that affect every part of your body.
Yeah,
versus a chemical or neurological reaction may affect one part. The hormones affect every cell, every organ. So your body, when you're in cortisol, if you watch my videos, I say it 1,000 times, probably a month, cortisol allows your body to stay in a stress state, fight or flight. So that's what that focuses on.
Yes.
When you're in that state, your body can adapt to that by breaking your body down, causing hypertension, causing high blood pressure, causing tachycardia, heart rate issues too, where you think you're having a heart attack. Okay, you don't sleep well, your body stays in stress, you don't energize, you don't recharge. When you have more, and that's the balance. Cortisol is too high, your serotonin drops. You have an imbalanced state per se. If you can change that or get back to a better level, at that point serotonin kicks in along with endorphins. Your body stays in a relaxed state. You recharge better, your organs function better. Yeah. You have more creativity. You sleep better, you recharge better. That's what I do with my patients. My patients, they come in with pain, I want them to sleep better. Why? Because that means their body's recovering well, their body's getting a healthier state when they have more serotonin. That's my normal soapbox you guys hear all the time.
Yeah, right. And so a lot of people go on medications, and I'm not ever saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's not the best thing. They haven't even really proven that these medications do what they're setting out to try to do, is to increase serotonin and have more of a balanced state. And
they give you a hormone that's synthetic
Yeah.
So your body is very intelligent, it self-regulates. If you're taking a hormone that self-regulates, and your body self-regulates, your body produces less of it, so you have to require the hormone supplement instead of your own body doing it itself.
So it's almost like
Not
a reverse effect.
You don't
right?
have to be a doctor to know that that's not good for you long term.
Yeah. And so if the person is able to try, I mean, if someone is in a state of really extreme danger, they're suicidal, then they need to do something immediately. But for anyone out there who is able to just say, you know what, I'm living a stressful life, I need to do something about this, you can definitely decrease your cortisol and increase your serotonin. It's been proven over and over scientifically by doing especially these meditation type techniques. And so the Heart Math program, it's a 5-minute twice a day is how you start, and you really never even have to do more than that because it's so focused. You see on the screen your heart pattern and you see your body physiologically reacting, and most people report back, a high percentage of people report back that after only 2 weeks that they actually feel different. They feel happier, they feel more balanced. They can't even really explain why. They just say, wow, like this is so deceptively simple. This is all I have to do.
And you're seeing the results on a screen, so your body's reacting to that too. Like, okay, I'm seeing better results, I'm getting better. You have that Pavlov conditioning to where your body will respond to that. It'll change the way your body's internally by seeing a stimulus. And that's what you're going for.
And you even start to kind of crave.
You're like wait a second, I want that number better. I want that pattern better, per se.
Yeah.
Right? I've never taken it. I don't know what it is. But that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and just recently we have this technology now that we can offer this biofeedback, because in the past, you had to hook someone up to 1 million electrodes in a huge computer and pay a ton of money to have that done, where now we have that technology in our hand. We're walking around with these computers. We are living in the best of times, really.
Right.
Absolutely.
It is. It's just making sure that best of times for you is how do you maneuver yourself through there so you enjoy that. Become less stressed. Understand certain things you can do. That's what this podcast is about. And show too is how do you find simple things to get yourself healthy and stay there. And 5 minutes a day, twice a day.
Yes.
So 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, ideally, and 3 times if you can fit it in. Some people say, "Oh my gosh, I love this so much, I do it 45 minutes a day." Whatever works for you, but to get results, you only need to do twice a day for 5 minutes.
And even without this, there's apps out there. There's things that are free.
Yeah, meditation.
Where you can find a routine for you. Okay, before I go to bed, spend 5 minutes. In the morning, spend 5 minutes. And maybe at lunch, I have 5 minutes. Yeah. Whatever you can do to get yourself to, and again, just to shut down. And that quick shutdown allows your body to get here energy-wise and productivity-wise versus staying here all the time. And I think that level of balance, what I use, I try to take a power nap every day. Some people call me whatever, but that gives me that quick 15 minutes, sometimes even just 10 minutes of boom, ready for the afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm ready for I wake up early, get my work done, spend all day getting stuff done, quick boost, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But you need that quick, find a way to recharge, because if not, your whole afternoon, say the second 12 hours of your day become more at a very low efficiency versus a high efficiency. When you think about time and how much time you can actually put into that, that's a lot easier.
Yeah, and when we're running, our body starts to adjust to thinking like that stress is normal. Some people are telling me, I just feel this sense of anxiety all the time. Like your body just thinks that's normal after a while, and that's where it kind of runs into the danger zone of, if your body thinks that's normal, your brain is way off with your chemical balance in your body, that over time then that's going to create something.
Well, your body will adapt to the stresses of your environment, and it will present itself as anxiety, as tachycardia, as a heart issue for one, or as high blood pressure. Yeah. So unless you can change your environment, how do you make your body healthier to handle that, and find ways to do that through meditation? I've done videos, people who do music, through exercise, for example, too, through yoga, through Pilates. So art. Find a way to do something to get yourself to get healthier, to tolerate the stress of your day.
Yeah, and I love what you said about just find a 5 minutes here and there, even, because the thing that happens is that it becomes cumulative. And this is really important to remember, because you might think, 5 minutes, like I don't even feel any better. But when you do this consistently, tie it with something that you already do, like your morning coffee, or if you take a walk in the afternoon, whatever it is that you can tie it to, even if you're driving in the car, you can totally meditate in the car. You don't have to be in some trance state. Yeah, don't close your eyes. Right. But you can do that. Find these little windows of time, and it's going to start to become, it's going to accumulate as a really good thing within your system. And that's really important, because that's how you stop those energy leaks and drains, and that's how you're going to build resiliency and stay healthy and become more healthy. And the thing is, once you get in that state of more just feeling more energized and having more control over your life and your mind and everything that you're doing, you can be far more focused and productive. And then you can really become the person that you want to be. That big dream that you have becomes way more possible, because you're tapping into your creative intuition and you're using that. So powerful.
And when you're stressed, you can't do that.
That's right. When you're stressed, your mind shuts down. And like writer's block. Anybody who writes, a lot of people write now because of all the
even
blogging.
Thinking block. Even just talking block.
That's what it is.
All of it.
It's like you're overthinking it. Your left side of your brain is taking over, and you're not allowing your intuition, because the answers are there already. Everything that you need is here. It's here with you already. You don't have to go find it. It comes to you if you allow it to come to you. But you have to get yourself in the right state where that can happen.
Deeper part of your brain. And I listened to Simon Sinek a few years ago. I keep forgetting what part of the brain it is, but a lot of it is, we can think and we can make decisions. Our decisions, our deep motivations come from our emotional side. When we think, we can't get there when we're under stress. We stay more abstract, more numbers, more black and white type of stuff. So we want to get to that deep side. Hey, what I really want to do today, what I really want to get accomplished today, what I want to do for me and for my family, that occurs in the emotional side. So when you're under stress, you can't get there. When you're more relaxed, when you're more focused, when you get into that relaxed creative state, that's where you find what you really want to get done.
Yeah. And so this is for especially people who are artists or writers or sports, people who are into sports, that flow, that you have to get into that state where you can your body can just perform in this amazing way. This is all similar things. People who are dealing with very high stress in their jobs, they really need to tap into this.
Or their families or anything they're dealing with, period.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it.
True.
When you as an athlete, when you're relaxed, at that point you perform better. Okay, you take the shot better, you do the run better. You actually do things, and that's what what I've heard from coaches is you want to be in relaxed, focused state. So you perform, because you know what to do. It's getting your body to do it. You gotta let your unconscious do it. Don't think about it. If you're a golfer, you're not gonna think about, I have to hit the ball here, I have to go over there, I have to do this. You just swing. Because you've done it so many times, let your body take over. Let your mind just kind of let it go through. But when you're that tense, when you're stressed, your body can't do that. That's why golfers are all type A. They want to become type B and C, but it's hard because you have to shut your mind down. As for example, per se. Going back to do you want to correlate with this with your cancer program too? With the heart program? How do you want to correlate that?
Yeah. Well, I have a 7-step program that I've developed, and this is for cancer patients, people who are mainly women who are dealing with breast cancer, but also their friends, their families, and their significant others, their husbands, the people who they love, who a lot of times are suffering as much or even more than they are with the emotional side. And so I felt like maybe I could call it a missing link that was not in my program, was really getting to the heart of the emotions and tapping into that, and then getting to the intuition and just helping everybody calm down. And so the Heart Math program to me was that answer, because it is so effective and doable, and it's a real thing that you can do. Because when I first realized that I could change the thinking, that little voice in my head that was chattering nonstop for me, when I realized I could change it, I was like, well, how am I going to do that? Or when you have cancer, Donna, well, just think positive and that will help you. Well, how am I going to do that?
Yeah, what's the steps? How do I do it?
Yeah, so I created this program, so I take these people by the hands and guide them step by step. This is what will work. This is what works. This is what's proven to work, and you can do it too. And regardless of where you're at, regardless of what kind of diagnosis with cancer or what stage of cancer, you still are alive. You have your life, And none of us knows about tomorrow anyway. None of us knows. We could walk out of here and God forbid, be hit by a car or anything.
Plane.
Yeah, anything can happen. And so you can't live your life with, oh no, like I only have this much time or that much time. You have to live your life right now in the present moment and learn how to do that. And so that's what my program does. Connects people. I'm working on creating a huge connection force, so to speak, or a movement of people who are linking arms and pulling each other up and finding the good and finding the positive. I went to a lot of support groups, not a lot, a few support groups when I was going through cancer, and I found that people sat around and complained about how terrible they felt and how, why me and all that kind of stuff, and it made me feel worse.
Like, great, thanks for coming.
Yeah, so I'm not saying there's no good, that there's no good out of that. I'm sure there are good programs out there, but I wasn't able to find them. So that's why I decided I wanted to create something that I couldn't find for people, and especially their families, because one woman told me when my husband was diagnosed with cancer, I felt like our whole family had cancer. She had several sons, and they all suffered a great deal. And so my dream, Tony, is to have this amazing wellness center, which will be an old home.
You've restarted this, though. It's not a dream, you restarted it.
I've started it. I have this whole idea and vision in my head already. I've started on it. It's going to be a nonprofit called the Art of Resiliency. But it's ultimately going to be a wellness center, an old home that I'm converting, and it's going to have what I call the wall of resilience, and they're art tiles. And this is part of my fundraising probably a main part of my fundraising it will be, is for people to create these art tiles and have them. Anything can go on these tiles. They can be art pieces, they can be photographs, they can be memorials. I have a picture of my mom. God bless her, she died of cancer. And so this picture is going to go on one of the art tiles. You can put poems. You'll have artists that can make things for people. And so ultimately these tiles are all going to go on a wall, and that will be called the Wall of Resilience at the property. So the Wellness Center will be a place where people can come when they're diagnosed with their family, with their friends. There'll be classes. There will be just wonderful, healthy things, exercise classes, a smoothie bar. There will be meditation. There will be heart math. All the different things that can really help those people gain resiliency and have the best possible chance of beating their cancer, getting through it, and just being better than they were before.
And a lot of it is, I think, we talked a little bit at your center, is giving people things to do to make themselves healthier while they're going through this.
That's right. Everything that they can possibly do. It's not fun when you get that diagnosis, let me tell you.
But when you're around people that want to go and be there, they're doing something for themselves, along with their family being supportive, that's a more positive attitude to make yourself healthier while you're going through that, and that only can help your recovery.
Yeah, and you absolutely need a support system. So this will be for people, they can bring their support system with them and all link arms and be trained together, or if they don't have anyone. Some people really don't have a lot of people, or maybe their support system is just in shutdown mode and they can't even go there. They can come there, and there will be people that will love on them, will help them, will show them the way, will pull them up, and it's just going to be I know it's going to be amazing.
And you've already started the steps. You have the steps. You have the heart program now too. Yeah. You have more tools to help people, and now you're going to have a place for them to go to get the help.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I have my coaching program in place already. I'm doing it's all online. So I do phone calls, I do Zoom calls.
How does your coaching work right now with your program? What do you do?
Okay, well, there's a variety of different choices. The ultimate would be to work with me for 6 months personally, and that you get everything in that program. You get a John Maxwell book study, you get the heart math monitor and all the heart math programs.
Yeah, one-on-one coaching.
One-on-one coaching with me. And so that's between 3 to 6 months. And again, what I really need to do is, for anyone who's interested, is to talk to them.
Step one.
And so I have a couple of things that I'm looking for right now, are any women who have dealt with breast cancer in any way, shape, or form, whether it's beginning, middle, end stage, whatever stage they're at, or even if they've been cancer-free for several years. I want to talk to them for just about 10 minutes and ask them some questions, because to kick off my nonprofit, I have a big event planned in October, and it's going to be an amazing event for women who have dealt with breast cancer and their friends. And so we will be creating these art tiles at that event. It's going to be an all day. There's going to be amazing speakers. They're going to learn a lot. And so I just want their input. How can I make this event the best possible event that there ever was for women who have dealt with this? And so just to talk with anyone for about 10 minutes. But in addition to that, if they would like to do a 1 hour, what I call discovery call, just to see if there's any part of my programs that maybe they want to use. You know, maybe for some people it's just the Heart Math 4-week program.Maybe some people really would like to look at coaching. So I really custom tailor it.
You want to find out what they need, and you give different options per what they actually need if they are a cancer patient or or a spouse or support group too. How do I get through this so I come out better, healthier, and overall a better to deal with even afterwards and deal with my family they're dealing with it also.
That's
so it's
right.
not just you, the cancer we talked about earlier about the cancer person. My husband, my kids, my aunt, my uncle, my parents are also affected by what I'm going through. How do I connect with them so they become supportive with me and not a negative, a downer while I'm going through this too?
Yeah, that's right. And so on that discovery call, I promise that person will come away with tremendous value. They will get on the call with me. I will listen to their story. I want to hear their stories. I learn so much from people. So,
and you have your own story too. You're a good person to empathize with. Hey, I've gone through this. I'm doing this. Is this helping or hurting me? Because some things that people will do, I'm assuming, will hurt their recovery versus help them.
Yeah, and you don't even know. They don't even know what it is. So to help them with the awareness. And so really what the 1 hour call does, and it's totally free, is it's going to give you a customized blueprint of the step-by-step plan that's custom for you and what your needs are. You know, and then to work with that person and figure out what's best for you, what will work for you. And maybe for some people, I will be referring them to somebody else, but I know I have a huge database. You're one of these people.
Jojo.
That I can, Jojo, my doctor, Dr. Lai, and people online, people who can help them if I can.
So this complements their medical care, doesn't go away from the medical care.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't really.
I want to make sure that's clear.
Yes, as far as the medical part, I leave that up to the doctors, the professionals who have far more education experience than I do on that. You know, I work more with the mindset, with becoming resilient, the
mental,
spirit,
psychological, the spiritual.
I call it the mess, the mental, emotional, and spiritual shock that occurs, the mess.
And that's the part where sometimes doctors, hey, like, great, we're doing with you here from the lab test, we're going to do the chemo, we're going to do these testings. Here's a list of support groups in your area.
That's
do
right.
you want that?
Yeah.
Or do you want someone who's been qualified, certified, and and someone who is a cancer survivor to help you with a free 10-minute or 1 hour call?
Yeah, 1 hour.
I don't see a downside, and I haven't dealt with it. I can't sympathize or empathize, but that's something to where if I'm looking for help without the mess, right? The mess. At that point, you can't get over the stress factor we talked about earlier to do something positive for you.
Yeah.
Your body will shut down where that sounds good, but I don't want to do anything. I'm going to be over here waiting for my next treatment, medical treatment, because I'm too stressed to deal with it. This breaks down the anxiety from what we talked about so far, that allows you to understand, okay, those are things that are going to happen. How do I move forward to get through this by doing certain things?
Yeah.
Maybe something physical, maybe something with a trainer, maybe something with an herbalist or a supplement person too. How do I get through this so I can keep myself healthy through this process?
Yeah, and everybody's different.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be different parts for different people, and that's why you really need to look through it and create something custom for yourself that's going to work for you. Because
and you're not just a coach or support group, and I have this person that deals with that specifically. So call them and call them and call them.
That's right. Yeah.
Take action on what to deal with it on your own.
The support system that you need to put together is really, really important, and it's huge. And so people might say, well, why are you doing this for free? Because I learn so much from people. Let me tell you, not only do I want to help people, of course, but they are going to end up helping me. That's what happens. They tell me their stories. I improve my program. I want this to be the best resource for people who are dealing with cancer that there ever was. You know, I'm on a mission to do that.
And with your wellness center becoming a reality, it only makes it better to where you come in with day one being open. This is what people need. This is not a guessing game. Need this, and this. By having the experience, by getting experiences from other people, you're making that more customized from what the demand, what they require to get healthier, maybe spiritual, mental, physical, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and there's really very little out there, especially for the husbands, the men in the lives of the women who are dealing with breast cancer. You know, there's tons of stuff for women now, and a lot of money being raised for breast cancer. Great research going on, and great strides in improving the treatments and all of that, which is wonderful. But the men a lot of times are left there struggling. And again, when you have this little voice in your head telling you, oh no, like my wife might die, I might be alone with the kids, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. Well, then you go into shutdown and you really can't do much of anything. And the men a lot of times don't ask for help. And so I want to include them from day one. You know, a portion of the program is not just going to be about working the women, it's going to be about including the family, including the support group, especially those who are struggling the most so they understand and so that they can find answers too.
Huge. And that only helps the person dealing with the cancer become more positive, more supportive. So when they're not feeling well, the husband, as a husband, hey, remember we talked to this with Donna about doing this.
Yeah, that's right.
And holding their hand through that whole process.
Yeah, and they will understand, they'll connect, and my goal is to have them have better relationships than they ever had because of the cancer. Yeah. Not in spite of, really, but because of.
Yeah. Anything else for our first talk about this before your grand opening?
Well,
I know you want to talk for hours and hours.
No, I have so many things.
But you have so much knowledge, and I said the free call allows you to really understand wherever you are on your path is to get into there. Okay, what else can I do so I have full recovery? There's centers, there's facilities that allow this to happen. You have those resources. You have those specific people to talk to get them in there as soon as possible.
Yeah. So really, I just would love if people would take the next step and don't be afraid. Just call me, you know, and see if there's a way I can work with you.
In this video, too, we're going to add her information, her phone number, everything you can do. That point directly from here, we're going to put it on YouTube, on other Facebook channels, too. You'll have it everywhere. She'll put it on her. She's going to build up her social media. Her kids will help her, too. That point, you get more aware of what's going on. Because we don't go to the phone book anymore.
That's
phone book? I don't get phone book.
No, I throw them out.
I throw them out. They're good door stuff. So how do we find where we're looking already for information?
Yeah.
Donna's information. So, okay, if I'm looking up cancer recovery, her name comes up.
That's right.
So part of these pockets, what they do is help you more aware of what else can I start cause momentum to get myself out there more, so I'm more aware. So you do more of these little things and even smaller videos too, to become more, hey, I do this, this, and this. People see that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't go to one, when I see a marketing thing once, great, fantastic. If I see it 4 or 5 times, they must be pretty good because I see it more and more. And by sharing these videos too, at that point it gets people to see it more.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you too for
course.
contacting me, for doing this recording, because I don't do a lot of Facebook Lives,
okay.
So I am going to start doing more. You've encouraged me, and this has been great.
Plan. And that's the thing, you have the knowledge, you have the expertise. When I do these podcasts and these videos, because you already know it. There's no script.
Yeah.
Did we script this? Did we
No,
write up a whole script?
we
have like
didn't
a director. We have a phone. We have a tripod. We have us, and we have a great house here that she has. So that's it. All right. Thanks for watching the show, and all the information will be on there. Her website, her phone number, her Facebook, everything. Contact her. Get the free consultation. Know what's going on. All right. Anything else?
Okay, I think that's it.
Thanks for being on the show
right,
again, and we'll do another one soon.
All right.
Okay. That's all it comes down to, get information out there so people see that.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.